Hey guys, and welcome to the Command Tower. We make EDH Deck Techs. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, check out our TCG play with the link in the description below. If you use it, helps out a lot. Today's deck is a Jorn God of Winter deck. Now Jorn is a double face card. The front side of the card is a 3/3. This is whenever he attacks, untap each snow permanent you control. And the back side is a legendary snow artifact that has tap. You may play a target snow permanent card from your graveyard this turn. If you do, enter this battlefield tapped. So, obviously, we're going to have a lot of snow permanents in the deck. And all snow lands. So we can attack with Jorn, untap all their snow lands, and other permanents, and then we're going to play really big spells. Total price of this deck is $24.45. This is according to TCG Player, and does not include the price of basic lands. So, let's get right into the deck. First off, we got ramp. Since our commander untaps snow permanents, we're going to have a lot of snow ramp, and we're going to have a lot of land ramp to get us snow lands. Sculptor of Winter taps to untap target snow land. Rhyme Tender taps to untap another target snow permanent. Replicating Ring taps for 1 mana of color. And to begin your upkeep, you put a night counter on it, then if there's 8 or more night counters on it, remove all of them and create 8 colorless snow artifact tokens named Replicating Ring with tap, add 1 mana of color. All of these are great because they are snow, so they're going to untap with your commander. Arkham's Astrolabe. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. If you pay 1 and tap you, add 1 mana of color. Rampant Growth. You search your basic land card, put it in the battlefield tapped. Sacred Tribe Elder. It's the same thing, but you have to sacrifice them. Spring Bloom Druid. Enters the battlefield, you can sacrifice land. If you do, search your library 2 basic lands. Put the battlefield tapped to shuffle your library. Harrow. Additional cost to cast it, sacrifice the land. Search your library to 2 basic land cards, put on the battlefield, shuffle your library. And Roiling Regrowth is the same thing, but they enter the battlefield tapped. Cultivate. You get 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put 1 on the battlefield tapped, other into your hand, you shuffle your library. Beanstalk Giant has a sorcery adventure, where you get a basic land on the battlefield. And then, Beanstalk Giant's power and toughness are equal to the numbered lands you control. And then Animus Awakening, which is a great card for the deck because it has X in its cost, and our commander is going to untap all their lands already, so X can be a lot of mana. So reveal the top X cards of your library, put all land cards among them onto the battlefield tapped, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And Spell Mastery, if there are 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard, you untap those lands. Then we get some cards that are either really good snow cards, or they benefit off of you having snow permanents. Pilfering Hawk has flying. You pay snow mana and tap it, you draw a card, then discard a card. Icebound Pillar. You pay snow mana and tap it, you tap target artifact or creature. And both those will untap when you attack with your commander. Chilling Shade has flying. If you pay snow mana, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn, which is going to be super good with your commander, because if you use your commander and untap all your lands, you could pump this guy up like 10 times. So he could be like an 11/11 with flying. At that point, they might not be able to block, and you can deal a lot of damage. Blizzard Spectre, flying. When it deals combat damage to a player, you choose one. That player returns a permanent he or she controls to its owner's hand. That player discards a card. Orin Viper, that deals combat damage to a creature, destroy that creature at the end of combat. And whenever Orin Viper deals combat damage to a player, you can draw a card. Morrigan of Frost has Changeling, and it can enter the battlefield as a copy of a permanent you control, except it's legendary and snow in addition to its other types. And if it's a creature, enters battlefield with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it, and it has Changeling. And we have a decent amount of good creatures in the deck that you can copy. Ascendant Spirit. If you pay 2 snow mana, it becomes a Spirit Warrior with base power and toughness 2/3. You pay 3 mana. If Ascendant Spirit is a warrior, you put a flying counter on it, becomes a Spirit Warrior Angel with base power and toughness 4/4. And if you pay 4 snow mana from there, if it's an angel, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and it gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. That might seem like a lot of mana, but with our commander, we're going to get a lot of mana. So, you can put him into this. Spirit of the Elder God. When it enters the battlefield, search library, snow land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library, so it helps mana fix, and it gets +1/+0 for each other snow permanent you control. So it's going to get bigger too. Icebreaker Kraken. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each snow land you control. When it enters the battlefield, artifacts and creatures target opponent controls don't untap during that player's next untap step. and return 3 snow lands you control to those other hands. Return Icebreaker Crack into its opponent's hand. So basically, it's gonna slow your opponents down, and it can protect itself, and you can play it for really cheap. Abominable Treefolk. Trample, its power and toughness are equal to the number of snow permanents you control. Enters battlefield, tap target creature opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Just a great card overall, because we're going to have a lot of snow permanents, it's going to become pretty big, and it has Trample. Conifer Worm is just the better version of the set. Has Trample. If you pay for it, Conifer Worm gets +X until end of turn, or X number of snow permanents you control. And you can do this multiple times per turn. And we're going to have a lot of mana with our commander, so you could do this like 3 times. And we're already going to have a ton of snow permanents, so you could deal 20 more damage with this thing out of nowhere. Rime Feather Arrow. Flying is power toughness, or even the number of snow permanents you play. You pay 2, you put an ice counter on target permanent, and permanents with ice counters on them are snow. So once again, it's just going to become really big, and you can make other permanents snow. Merit Lage's Slumber. Probably the best card in the deck. Whenever it or another snow permanent enters battlefield under control, you scry 1, which is already pretty good for 2 mana. But at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more snow permanents, you sacrifice it, and then you create Merit Lage, a legendary 20/20 black avatar creature token with flying and indestructible. So you're going to get to scry, and then later in the game, when you have a lot of snow permanents, you're going to get a 20/20 with flying indestructible, and that's going to be really hard to kill. Then we get some cards that can make our commander or other creatures we control unblockable, because when we attack with our commander, we don't want him to die. Blackblade Reforge. Equip creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control, and if you equip a legendary creature, it's only 3. But if you equip another creature, it's 7. This doesn't really make it unblockable, but it's going to make it hard to kill if we attack with our commander. Alpha Authority. Giant creature. Giant creature is hexproof and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Canopy Cover. Giant creature. Giant creature can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach, so it's going to be almost unblockable. And Shade creature can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. Whisper Silk Cloak. Equip creature can't be blocked. Has Shroud. Has Equipper 2. Prowler's Helm. Equip creature can't be blocked except by walls. It has Equipper 2. Protective Bubble. Giant creature. Giant creature is blockable and has Shroud. Aqua's Form. Giant creature. Giant creature can't be blocked. Whenever a giant creature attacks, you scry 1. Rime Transfusion. It's great because it's already a snow enchantment. You enchant a creature. Giant creature is +2/+1. As you pay snow mana. This creature can't be blocked this turn except by snow creatures. Chances are, your opponents aren't going to have any snow creatures. Arcane Flight. Giant creature. Giant creature is +1/+1 and it's flying. If you get commander flying, there's probably going to be at least 1 person at the table you can attack, and they won't have a flying blocker. Then we get a couple other big spells that you can cast with all the mana you get from your commander. Gelatinous Genesis. You create XX green ooze creature tokens. So this could make a ton of creatures for you, and they're all going to be pretty big if you pay enough mana. Sylvan Offering. Choose an opponent. You and that player each create an XX green Treefolk creature token. And you also choose an opponent. You and that player each create X 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. So, if you and another player at the table are kind of trying to team up, this is a great card, because it's going to help you, and it's going to help them. Villainous Wealth. Another one of the best cards in the deck. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of the library. You can cast any number of spells to convert mana at cost X or less from among them without paying their mana costs. And all you need is like 7 lands, and you're playing this for a ton of mana, like 10 or 11. So they're going to exile like 10 or 11 cards, and you could probably play anything they exile. So it's going to get you a ton of free spells. Emergent Ultimatum. Search the library for up to 3 monocolored cards with different names and exile them. The opponent chooses one of those cards, shuffle that card into your library, and you can cast other cards without paying their mana costs. Then you exile it. So you can just get some of the best cards in your deck. Horizon Stone. If you lose unspent mana, that mana becomes colors instead. So we're going to get a lot of mana from untapping our lands and tapping them again. And if we don't use all of it, we can save it with this. Then we got some card advantage. Once again, since we have a lot of mana, we're going to have some X spells that get us cards. Mind Spring, you draw X cards. Damnable Pact, target player draws X cards and loses X life. Epiphany at the Drown Yard, wheel type X plus 1 cards of your library, separate them into 2 piles. The opponent chooses one of those piles, put that pile into your hand, and the other into your graveyard. Wilder Streams, return X target cards from your graveyard to your hand, then you exile it. Deep Analysis, target player draws 2 cards, and has Flashback for 2, you pay 3 life. Fact or Fiction, wheel top 5 cards of your library, opponent separates those cards into 2 piles, put 1 pile in your hand, the other in your graveyard. Frost Augur, you tap it, and pay a snow mana. Look top card of your library. If it's a snow card, you can reveal it and put it in your hand. And this will untap if you attack with your commander, so you can draw even more cards. Glacial Revelation, reveal top 6 cards of your library. You can put any number of snow permanent cards from among them into your hand, put the rest into your graveyard, so you should get a decent amount. Graven Lore, you scry X, where X is the amount of snow mana spent to cast a spell, then you draw 3 cards. Draugr Necromancer, if a non-token creature opponent controls will die, you exile that card with the ice counter on it instead, and you cast spells from 1 cards in exile your opponent's own with ice counters on them, and you can spend mana from snow sources as though a mana of any color to cast those spells. So, creatures are going to die that your opponents have, and you can play all of them, so it's going to give you a ton of advantage. The 3 seasons, it's a saga. The first part is mill 3 cards. Then you return up to 2 target snow permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Then the third part is choose 3 cards in each graveyard. They're known to shuffle them into their libraries. So it can help you get some cards back, and it could stop graveyard decks. Then we got some removal. Dregs of Sorrow, destroy X target non-black creatures, and then draw X cards. Now it's X, and then 5 mana, so it's already pretty pricey. But with our commander, we're going to get a lot of mana, so we can wipe the board and draw a bunch of cards. Stolen by the Fate, return a target creature with a command cost X to its owner's hand. Recreate X, 1/1 blue fairy creature tokens flying. Displacement Wave, return all 9-land permanents with command cost X or less in its owner's hand. Consign to Dust, has Strive, the spell costs 3 more to cast for each target beyond the first. Destroy any number of target artifacts and or enchantments. Return to Nature, you choose one. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, or exile target card from your graveyard. Will, destroy target artifact or enchantment, has cycling for 2. Sultai Charm, choose one, destroy target monocolored creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment, or you draw 2 cards and then discard a card. So that gives you some flexibility. Priest of the Haunted Edge, you tap it, sacrifice it, target creature gets -X on turn, or X them snow lands you control, and only that is a sorcery. Now we have all snow lands in this deck, so that should be able to kill something pretty easily. Winter's Rest, enchanted creature, when it enters battlefield, tap enchanted creature. As long as you control another snow permanent, enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Now, we are going to have a lot of snow permanents, so this isn't going to untap. Blizzard Brawl, choose target creature control, target creature you don't control. If you control 3 or more snow permanents, the creatures you control get +1/+0, and gains indestructible until turn. Then those creatures fight each other. And we're going to have some pretty big creatures, so that should work out pretty well for us. Blood on the Snow, you choose one, destroy all creatures or destroy all planeswalkers. Then return a creature or planeswalker card, crew mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, or X amount of snow mana spent to cast a spell. So, we're going to kill everything, and then we're going to get a creature back for free. Then lastly, we got lands. Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse do the same thing. Tap it, sacrifice it, search your library basic land card, put on the battlefield tap, or shuffle your library. Now these aren't snow lands, but they're not going to stay on the battlefield, so they're going to help us get the snow land we want. Shepherd's Drift Vale, enters battlefield tapped, enters battlefield to choose a color, and it taps for 1 mana of the chosen color. Ice Tunnel, enters battlefield tapped, taps for Dimir colors. Woodland Chasm, enters battlefield tapped, taps for Gilgyre colors. Rimewood Falls, enters battlefield tapped, taps for Simic colors. All these are super awesome because they count as the basic lands. So when we're ramping, we can grab these ones and we'll have all the colors we need for the deck. And lastly, we got 10 snow covered islands. 10 snow-covered swamps, and 12 snow-covered forests. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.